think we're good. Make sure we're recording. Okay. I think I'm good. All right, guys. Oh my gosh, huh? I know, this is sad. This is a sad meeting day. We're gonna start calling people in from, they're walking down the hall. This is what happens in August 25th, right? Everybody's away, their minds are away, either their bodies are away or their minds are away or both, we're not sure. So anyway, welcome. Before we get started, I just want to introduce two new people that are here with us. So, Gary is right here in the front row. We're just waiting for his license to be activated with the state. And Latifa is behind Nick and in front of Terry, and she just needs to get fingerprinted next week. So she did also join us last week at our bowling fundraiser, for those of you who came and got to meet her. So funnily enough, her boyfriend is a bowler, and her boyfriend's mother bowls with Carol Polk. And her boyfriend went to school with Carol's grandkids, and there was this whole little Carol Polk reunion there while we were sitting there, so. That's not a way to get you integrated into our office, I don't know what is. So, again, thanks for coming. Let me fix my screen again. Goodness. So, the world of real estate is one of cycles, we know that. Those of us who've been in the business a long time know that it's constantly ups and downs, right? There's no momentum in real estate, right? We always talk about getting momentum in our business, but there's no momentum in the real estate world. So certainly we're in a stage of change right now in markets all over the globe. So everything that's happening since COVID has been internationally, right? Everybody's going through the same thing all together as one, which is quite amazing, actually, if you think about it. Change can be a little intimidating for some agents, but with the right mindset, tools, and training, it presents opportunities at every turn. So you just have to be adaptable in real estate because there's always going to be a change. So right now we have very low inventory. I would rather have this than back in the day when I got into the business in 2006, and there was 12 to 19 months of inventory sitting on the market. You take a listing for 6 months to a year because you knew it wasn't going to sell anytime soon, right? So now there is limited inventory, it just needs to be priced appropriately. We're going to go over some of those numbers today. So thank you again for supporting our charity. That was the basket that Silvana made up. She did such a nice job, of course. It would have never, ever looked like that if I put that together. We had $100 worth of scratch offs in the basket that we donated to the fundraiser last week. And I think they made almost $200,000 for the cancer awareness again this year, which is amazing. So thank you all for your support with that. So just some office training and events that are coming up. The MTS workshop is tomorrow. The MTS workshop is a great way for you to get ideas and learn from different MTSs. So you know, Laura's our MTS in our office. There's an MTS in every office, or have multiple offices. So again, they share their insight, they share their knowledge, and you just have to scan that little barcode and you'll be able to register for the MTS workshop tomorrow. It's from 9 to 10. So again, a great way to get more familiar with your MyWaker system and get to know different information from different MTSs in our organization. And then I just wanted to let you know, our fall kickoff meeting is going to be Wednesday, September 14th. It's going to be 10 to 11 as normal. I'm working on getting a motivational speaker here for that to make it a little bit more upbeat. because I feel like the week before is still Labor Day week, and I want to make sure we're getting as many people back into the office as possible for September. Also, everybody saw my invitation last week for Carol Polk's retirement party, which is September 22nd, right? At Bill Bellagio in Morris Plains. It's $40 a person, and that includes drinks and your meal. Thanks to John Lamar and Nancy who put that together for Carol. So Carol knows the date because they had to tell her to make sure she wasn't gonna be away somewhere, that she was gonna be around, but she doesn't really know the extent of it. So the other day I invited her to come to I said I was gonna do a kickoff meeting in September 14th for her to be here. She wants to say a few words, so you know what that means. I said, okay, I'll give you 6 minutes this time. And we're gonna do a luncheon after for her, so like a send off luncheon for her, because right now she thinks like us as the office isn't doing anything, right? Because we have this thing planned, and so that's gonna be also a send off for her. It's gonna be 10 to 11, 11:30, our office meeting.
No, the party.
The party? I had to ask John Wallman, 5 o'clock. The September 22nd one, Patty, is that what you referred to? Yeah, 5 o'clock. So, so again, just put these dates in your calendar, September 14th, September 22nd, will be the following week, to celebrate Carol. Also, for those of you who have not satisfied your CE credits yet, they are due April 30th of 2024, no, 2023. I'm rushing the years now. April 30th of 2023 for those of you who have not done it. I believe the new agents, it's waived this year. If you took your exam July or on, I believe is what they usually do. But for our agents who have not done your 12 CE credits, the real estate school is conducting those classes on a monthly basis. Okay, they're 2 days, 6 hours each. Or you can do, if you have some, or you do different things. The title group does seminars once every few weeks moving forward, and they're free. So you just have to sign up online. Okay, but remember, you have to have 1 fair housing, 2 ethics, 6 core, which the fair housing and the ethics, that those 3 count for core, right? So you just need an additional 3 core and an additional 6 elective, which is anything at all, okay? So if you have any questions about that, ask me. But they are hosting free webinars, so I'm gonna be, every time they send an email, I will forward it over to you guys if you're interested in taking the webinars and getting 2 credits. Yes,
I was
Anthony?
talking to Ben yesterday about one, maybe surveys that might come up. To your mortgage, if you're working about it.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, just for you guys to know, don't wait till the last minute to get your credits done. Do not wait till the last minute. White Founders Day is September 21st. So that's a day that was started last year. And if anybody remembers, it was a really nice event. They had all different food trucks outside of the cafeteria for you guys to come and just have fun, get to meet people. There was a lot of upper leadership there. This year, they're going to do a little bit more. So not only are they going to have the food trucks out there, but they're going to have different events in the classrooms for agents. So they're making it a little bit more elaborate this year, and I guess they'll build on it each year. But again, mark your calendars for September 21st. I think it starts at 12 o'clock that day. So that's our office meeting day as well. Okay. Riker Community Cares, Light the Night, save the date for October 22nd. That's our walkathon. So what is the #1 way to build a real estate business? I should have put, what is the #1 activity to build a successful real estate business? Prospecting, you say, John? You would think so, but no, that's not it. Probably because people don't do it. So they can't measure something that's not done, I'm assuming. Networking? What do you say? Drinking? Yeah. That's after the fact. That's on off hours. In fact, Carlos had such a day that yesterday morning with a client. He walked in, he looked like he had like eyes were all foggy and fuzzy. And I said, Carlos, just go to a bar and drink the rest of the day and forget about the morning. It's the best way to get through. Follow up? Anybody else? Open houses. NAR had did a study. They conducted a study, and the top way for agents to build a successful and consistent real estate business is through open houses. That is in line with referral business. So referral business, though, only comes for someone who has been in the business a long time, right? I believe they say 2.5 to 3 years is when you start getting those referral calls back, right? That's when you start building that business. That's what you try to attain, right? But in lieu of that, open houses are the best way to get business, to build your business. And I know right now there's limited inventory, but I also know right now that people are not holding open houses as many hours as they should. Everybody's taking shortcuts. I'll do 1 hour, I'll do 2 hours, I'll fit it in here. And that's fine if you don't have the time, but my suggestion is stop taking shortcuts. And if you want to do an open house for 2 hours, then find someone to do the additional 2 hours. Don't let the seller suffer for, that we have plans or we have other things going on. Share that open house with people. So do a 4-hour open house or more on a Saturday, and do a 4-hour open house or more on a Sunday or on a Friday, whatever the case may be, and just share it. You do 2 hours, have someone else do the other 2 hours if you're not available. So we need to stop taking shortcuts, especially with open houses, with signs, with balloons. I know some, towns, there's ordinances, there's some towns that don't allow signs, there's some towns that don't allow balloons, I understand that. But really getting out there, meeting people face to face is always the best way to obtain business. So yesterday I was talking to an agent who did an open house this weekend on Saturday, had a lot of people through. They were like, everybody had an agent. And I said, listen, you're going to run into those days. You're going to run into those weeks, right? That it's just part of our business, but you're still building a relationship with somebody as they walk in the door. I said, I used to find personally that from like October, November through February where I got the most unaligned buyers. And I felt like the reason being is because that's when people are coming out, they had a Thanksgiving dinner at their family, and next year they want to host it, so they need a house to do that, right? Or they're having a baby, or they're celebrating an engagement, or whatever the fact is. I feel like through the time, you're spending more time in your house, it's getting colder out, and they realize they want to have their own place, right? So I found that that's a great time for underlying buyers, but I know agents who are very successful getting them all time of the year, right? It's just getting out there and doing it, so. Anthony, I'm bringing Anthony up early today, so I don't bring him at the end and rush him through in 5 seconds flat.
Update on last week's market, economic data. Data from the real estate sector continue to show a slowdown from last year's robust market. Though home prices continue to hold on to their gains. Retail sales came in slightly above forecast, excluding the volatile components of autos and gas. Mortgage rates. Thought the Freddie survey headlines showed lower rates actually rose in response to tough inflation talk from several members of the Fed. What's happening this week? This week will feature the release on new home sales, orders of durable goods, and revision of the measure of economic growth in the second quarter. Volatility more than it's been already all week, towards the end of the week this week. So we'll keep you guys posted. See that rate is climbing 5.6. We're in the 5.8s right now. It's actually dated slide right here. So just, it's affecting borrowers' qualifications. I have buyers that are making offers right now. They're competing. They're not sure if they should go higher or not. And obviously, their payments are higher than they were a week or 2 weeks ago. Rates are the highest they've been over a month this week. So we'll kind of keep doing the best we can. But the 10-year yield curve is actually over 3% right now. The last time it was over 3%. It was probably about a month and a half ago. And that's when the rates were in the low 6s. Kind of see where that takes us. So I'm going to kind of throw this at you. I kind of hinted on this maybe a few weeks back, and I want to kind of get a whole slide together for it and better explain it for you guys. Obviously, this is not necessarily for you, the agent, but more for potentially a seller and trying to be more creative in this market. Right? So let's say a seller has a property listed for $500,000. Been in the market for a month. You're trying to see if maybe they would lower the price or something like that. It's not selling, right? So they have an alternative, right? Let's say they lower the sales price to $470,000. That's a $30,000 reduction, right? For the seller. An alternative is called a buy down, right? So let's say the seller, on behalf of the buyer, buys the interest rate down for them for the first 2 years, right? So let's say the par rate's 5.5%. They buy it down for the first year at 3.5%. So for that first year, the interest rate and payment at 3.5% are much lower than what it's going to be in year 3. And then in the second year, it goes up to 4.5%, right? So if you look down on the, at the end of the day, rather than the seller lowering the price of the house by, let's say, 30,000, you actually save the seller 20, assuming you can put a deal together. It costs the seller 10,000 to offer this incentive to a potential buyer coming in. Or at the end of the day, look at that scale at 450,000 at 3.5%. The principal and interest is $2,020, and then it goes to 2,280, and then it taps out at 2,555. So at the end of the day, that first year, the buyer's saying they're saving $500 something a month. The second year, they're saving $300 something a month. But at the end of the day, it's about a $9,000 savings, overall. And this just might help people kind of like a tipping point, potentially what to do. Just trying to get more creative where rather than the seller just kind of going, all right, let's just lower the price because we have to, this is more of an incentive that they can offer potentially a buyer. That you're actually lowering the rate for them. Almost if you look at like an adjustable rate mortgage, maybe for a short period of time, because it's basically only for the first 2 years that their payment's kind of really low at that point. And after that, it's a fixed rate based on current market, and it's that way for the rest of the 30 year. So it's not like they're taking out an ARM rate program, they have to refinance or something like that. They're still taking a fixed rate out. The seller is actually buying the interest rate down. But just another alternative in a different way for potentially a seller to put a deal together with a buyer and not having them lower the price of the house so much. And for some buyers, they might say, hey, listen, I'm willing to do this or willing to do that, especially if they feel like they're getting a much lower payment for the first year or two. Any questions you have?
Is that written out on the pre-approval letter? Is it attachment? Is it in?
So I don't think there's anything on contractions or anything like that at all. It's more of, if the seller's willing to do it, you probably just type it in on there, that the seller's willing to do a buy down, for the first 2 years for the buyer or something like that. And that's something that we're just going to be broken down. Really, it'd be almost for credit. We're going to do all the functionalities for the buyer and the hard costs. But then at the end of the day, the seller is issuing a credit to offset the cost of the money.
But this is already determined what the third year is going to be.
Correct, like using that as a 5.5 and then lowering it by 2%.
Okay.
2.
And then they can refinance if they want to.
Oh, that doesn't change.
Because it could be less than that.
It could down the road,
Yeah.
sure. This is more of like that first 12 to 24 month window and having a buyer potentially save a good chunk of cash going in. You never know. Some people are putting money down and maybe they have to take mortgage insurance, right? And maybe they're going to renovate the house and the goal is the house to be worth a lot more. They want to get rid of the mortgage insurance. And they're like, all right, taking mortgage insurance out, this stinks. I don't want to do that. But potentially on what the seller is able to offer them, it almost offsets that monthly savings too as well, or it offsets that PMI or something. Or someone could just save that money and use it for a renovation or remedy or whatever. Okay?
I'm just trying to figure out how you would do this, because most people, you have a listing, so you lower it by $30,000. How do you, this is saying that if you already have a buyer that's interested.
Right.
So how do you?
It's one of those things where obviously it could be presented that way, as far as, on the listing, you can, leave it that way. Like, let's say we're thinking about lowering the price. It's a lot of times there are incentives, $5,000 offered to blah, 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 blah. You could say sellers willing to do a temporary buy down for the next buyer, make for a mortgage. And then that would just open up questions. Again, it helps me kind of stay in tune with you guys, or at least speaking to that buyer as far as what is an option. So again, just different things out there for different folks where, hey, listen, we're thinking about lowering it by 50,000. Let's take a step back. Let me try something else. Some people can go into this really as an incentive too as well. I think the builders are doing it where $5,000 is offered for this. You guys are doing certain things. Commissions are paid differently on certain situations too as well. So this is just another option where potentially, rather than a seller just reducing way down a certain amount, they could actually just, really lose out to 10 grand and actually incentivize the buyer. And it looks really attractive.
Or if they're negotiating, right, and they want, the buyer is stuck on one
Well,
price,
that's the
the
other
seller's
piece.
stuck on another price and they're far apart.
And that's the other piece too. That's where it really gonna work, because you have like lifetime people.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But you can do it the other way too. That's right.
Pricing.
Yeah. It's just based on whatever the purchase price is. So like if we're at 500, they lower it to like 490 versus 470.
So the closing would take place. in those-
Yeah, like all the regular mortgage stuff has nothing to do with anything. All the other stuff is all the same. You know, specific. At the end of the day, the seller is actually paying for the cost that the buyer would incur by lowering the rate down for a 2-year shorter period by issuing that credit.
And how does the rate get paid down?
So up front, right, we're paying a one-time charge to lower the rate 2% below the current.
What
And
is
it scales down. So if, let's say the current rate on the third thing is 5.5% at par, yeah, that's what it'll be at from year 3 through year 30. But the first year it's 3.5. And then the second year it's 4.5. So they call it 2-to-1 buy down. So the first year it's 2% lower than the current market, second year it's 1%.
So was it $50,000 down?
Yeah, that's just giving you an example. Yeah, it's just the loan amount, just giving you an example of it.
But it has to raise to 500.
Just like anything else, nothing different at all. In that case, obviously, if they did it that way, maybe he might be lowering it to 490 or something.
But when the seller buys it down, he's giving that money up front or?
At closing.
Right.
Yes, everything's always at closing.
Yeah, so it's
Those
just.
are almost like points. We used to do points, but it's temporary, where points would lower your rate for the,
And with this, it's
The
much
remainder
more
of your loan.
extreme and impactful. So when you're-
Yes.
let's say hypothetically, if you're paying a point to that, every buyer, based on their qualification, is totally different. You could pay a point, let's say $4,500, it might only move the interest rate by like 1/8%,
Mhm,
1/4%. It might save the customer $70 a month in payment. In this case, you're saving someone $500 a month in the first year, $300 a month in the other, second year, a total of $9,000 a month.
What if it's 7% right now, but then
So
By
it'd be
year
5,
three.
6.
by year 3, it goes down to 5? Automatically, do you still get two points off of that to bring it down to?
So let's say the rate was 7, their starting year would be 5, their second year would be 6, and then it just amortizes. to
But we're just
7.
ignoring the rate that it is right now.
Yeah, we're just using 5.5, let's say, current market.
you're using the rate that it is when you locked into that mortgage, not whatever changes during, it doesn't matter how it changes or fluctuates. No, if it goes up or down, yeah.
Whatever it is, it just reduced by 2. and then-
yes.
Okay, so one more. So by year 3, say it's 5.5%, will it stay that rate for the life of the loan?
Yeah, from year 3 to year 30.
Even if it goes up to 8% or whatever?
It's not, it's fixed rate, just like everything else.
So that's what I'm trying to.
Yeah, it's not a variable rate loan, it's not an ARM or anything like that, it's just a temporary buy down to incentivize potentially.
Is this about to flip? And then the
It's not restrictive to anything.
Is the buyer going to grab and sell it in a year?
Surely.
Okay.
You know, that's what I was saying, like, with some people, they might just need more cash,
Right.
for the first year or two. Maybe they're not putting down 20% because they have to put an HVAC system in, they have to do this, they do that. Like, oh my God, I really need the money more than anything. That 9,000 could be mountainous for some.
Yeah.
So it's just a different option. Yeah, Carlos.
Anthony, can this be probably customized to specific needs? What do you mean? For, like, just like this is a 2-in-1, maybe,
No, it's just 2-to-1. There's not,
It's
they
always-
can't do like a 5 to this or a 3.
we cannot, yes, no, just, is this only occupied only or?
No, it's about any type of product.
I guess when the market's shifting a little bit now.
Well, I mean, listen, you just heard me talking about it. I was out this past weekend. We're still getting 20 people looking at property. So the market's still super healthy right now. So it's, again, it's not for everybody. It's just that, more like what Deb was talking about. I think if you're really in that negotiation, someone comes in with a $30,000 less offer because they feel that they can in this market, the seller can turn around and go, how about this? I'm going to drop in 10. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buy your interest rate down for you for the first 2 years. How's that sound? Oh, well, that's pretty good. Because for some people, rather than that 20 or 30,000 over the life of the loan, 9,000 might be more important to them for the next 2 years and something. That's exactly what it is. Sellers buying the rate down for you. Ratings. And rather than just getting like a couple $1,000 credit or paying points, this is much more impact. But it's a lot of money to.
It's what mean the buyer needs to go through you as well.
Well, this is like something that we're obviously promoting, I don't know if the lender.
Right, so my lender can do this for you.
Exactly.
Because the buyers aren't gonna see anything close, if they're gonna see it in the rate.
Yeah, so what it'll be is
Not getting
basically,
money back.
they'll see it where it's 3.5, or, you know, there'll be a separate rider before it that explains them how it's gonna work, and the payment will go to this by next year.
Right.
And this revolves right there.
Is there a written rate?
Sorry. Yeah, and you could put that in other contracts provisions, of, let's say that was agreed to, and we're working with the client, seller and stuff like that. We could just put that in other contractual provisions that, you know, seller agrees to, you know, do temporary buyback and stuff. Not the other way. Because again, this is more specific to us, not for other companies that would be working with the buyers. And again, more questions on this, just give me a screen. Question of the week. In order for a home sale to be used as a comp, in the appraisal, it must be A, listed for sale for the last 3 months, listed for sale under contract in the past 6 weeks. Must be a closed sale, within the last 12 months.
See.
Lenny says D guy.
Well, answer's D, must be closed sale. in the past 12 months.
The only reason we're doing like 6 months or 3 months, part of the last 5 years is because the market's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's-
There's not enough costs, yeah.
Right, it costs, but now it's just crazy, so we're back to the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, right, the changes.
So just a few, great, testimonials for our partners. So Anthony was friendly, very knowledgeable, and always accessible. He's made the process run smooth. You don't believe that? You don't believe it, John?
Mom said it.
His mom sent it in, maybe. And made it seem easy. This was my second time working with him, and I would definitely recommend it to others. I'll tell you when I get back.
So it was Anthony's mom, it's Chris's mom.
Yes.
Oh, it's Danielle Costin. Yes, it was Danielle Costin.
I was just gonna say, send me the link so I can write it.
Yes, Danielle did. She's right. It was your sister. I remember.
Oh,
seeing it.
for the, yeah, that's.
Yeah. Or no, well, that was for, no, I'm sorry. That was for Anthony's. That was for Naomi's. The next one is Naomi's. Our insurance, that's for Danielle.
She didn't
That's,
do the car insurance, so she just did another one.
yeah.
It's rights without it.
Yeah. So my experience finding a new insurance using record agency was flawless. Thank you to Naomi for being so thorough, responsive, and professional. She was able to walk me through the process of finding the insurance that cut my previous policy down so much. I am one of the many happy customers and will be definitely recommending her to my friends and family members. So again, Naomi does a great job. You know, call her for any of your needs. She's very responsive and on top of everything.
Where do you find her phone?
I've sent it out 5 million times, Deb, but I will send it to you. I'll text it to you. Yeah, no, I will.
Was shopping for it.
Yeah, no, I'll text it to you. For sure. So we had our, Fiddler's Elbow Breast Cancer Awareness Fundraiser last week, which is a big kickoff. And, we did a lot of recognition, or they did a lot of recognition for the offices company-wide. So I just want to share with you where we fall, in the company. Remember, there's about 120 offices company-wide, right? Not including the franchise offices. There's like 377 franchise offices, so we're up to about 500 offices nationwide. And I believe we just opened 2 international offices as well. Okay, so we are growing tremendously. So, listings, so top offices and number of listings taken year to date to July 31st. We'll go through everybody till, oh, what's this? So we get, so we were number 7, out of, for top listings for the first half of the year, basically, right, until 7/31. So 169 listings taken. Not bad, right, in a time when there's a deficit. So, I'll show you. So top 10 in open houses. You won't be surprised to see. You're not on that. Okay, you guys gotta step it up, So we want to always be ahead of Andrew Millen, okay? Jason Mason Morristown, who's not on the slide, and Aileen Councilman from Morristown Hazardville. That's our goal every year, or every month, okay? Dollar volume. We love 10, so we don't care if we're ahead of it or not. There we are, number 7 in dollar volume. We brought it, huh? Lucky number 7, we're lucky number 7, we gotta play that today. See, we got Jason ahead of us, we got Andrew and Aileen, that's it, we got the trifecta ahead of us on that one, okay, guys? So you need higher price points, is what you need. John, I know you're working on one, we gotta get those higher price points in. Revenue units. We're number 9 for revenue units in the company. Listen, it's amazing that we're top 10. It's amazing that we're top 10, so. And there we go. Aileen, number 1. She has 2 offices. She has Haddonfield and Morristown and has no competition. We not only have Grand X competition, but we have like White Brook offices within 5 feet of us everywhere we go, so. So I take that it's considered. Top mortgages closed, market share. You're not on that one. Right. And, so we gotta get ahead of Jason and Janet Wilkins for those 2. Title, we actually do a great job at title. So we are number 6 in title in the company. Which again is huge. We're huge in title because we have so many great supportive attorneys that you guys use, right? It's all about the support of our attorneys. And so, we're fortunate with that. Insurance. John LaFarm, thank you. Okay, we need to get that insurance out. Naomi's great. We have a lot of great policies. We have a lot of great companies. We work with 30+ companies in New Jersey. So, you know, they're very, very competitive.
But Eileen didn't do very well either, so.
Thank you for pointing that out, John. And then the top mortgage advisors, there we go.
Because of his mom.
His mom wrote the letter. Begging, please put him up there on the screen. But John, you can't see how red his face is right now. That's if you can't see. So congratulations, Anthony. And then profit for the year. And we are number 7. With my 777 today. And another great thing that I'd like to mention with this is that there's 5 managers on this slide, and they're all in Joe McDonald region. Half of the slide is Joe McDonald region, which I think is pretty incredible. So anyway, those are the numbers we shared. I just thought I'd share with you. It's fun to see where we stand as an office amongst other companies. So, did you guys know, I know everybody knows at NJFB you can get your square footage, right? And you also know that NJFB is not going to be around at the end of the year, right?
Right.
But did you know that you can get that same information so easy on GSMLS? Oh my goodness, you can get even more information than NJFB.
What's that supposed to be gone already?
No, the end of the year. So let me. How do I find?
Yeah.
How do I find my,
That's what she said.
oh, I know what to do. Give me 1 second. Oh, here we go. I just had to find my little icons on the bottom. Okay, so here I just pulled up on GSMLS today. I went into my hot sheets and I pulled up the first house coming soon. So this house was just on. So what I did was, let me go back. Yeah, so I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go on my hot sheet so you can see today's hot sheet, search. Oh wait, where was the one? Here it is. I click onto the MLS number, and instead of tax report on the side here, you're gonna go into tax data. And then that tax report will populate for you. So it gives you a lot of good information, as you can see. It is up there, right? Yeah. So here you have overview, you have listing history. You can go into additional information here. So if you go down to public records and you go to building, you will see the building square feet, 1890. So it's right here. Along with that, there's a lot of other information here, which I think you'd find interesting or helpful in your day-to-day. So right here are the utilities available. So now you can find out what utilities are in that area. So here, the electric and gas are public service. Sometimes they'll have multiple ones, like in Randolph, there's public service and there's JCP&L, right? And so it'll let you know which utility companies may be the ones using it. Sometimes there's only one, where their water service is, where their sewer service is. So again, a lot of information that we find, that we have to look up for our clients. Municipal information is here. You need is right here. So I thought this was very interesting. And then here's a tax map of the property. So associated people with the property currently, and then a property description. So really great information. I know also, I thought this was, you can get.
Utilities are amazing. That's.
Utilities are amazing. I swore yesterday I was able. Well, it says area of minimal flood hazard. Yep. So here obviously no one's going to be concerned. I don't know what would be trigger me to call Naomi or someone to get more information. But yeah, it does give you that information too. So everything's on one page now. Instead of us going to all these different places to find it, you don't have to worry about NJACB anymore. So.
That is right.
Like, go in and just.
Into the tax sale, let's see.
Not clicking it.
So let's see here, search. It has tax maps. Yes, you can. You enter it right up here. So you're going to go into your search bar. Up here on top, go into tax maps. Up here, and then it's going to take you to this page. Why does it say hello Vin.Wani? That I have no idea. Someone give me an address that you have listed.
Keep your home address.
Give my home address. I'll do my neighbor's address. How's that?
That's fine.
No.
That's-
Oh, okay, but this one was sold recently, so maybe that's not a good one. You're saying one that hasn't been sold, maybe?
Yes.
Oh, everybody. So here, this one's an old sold that's in here. They all should be here. It all should be populated from the tax records. Should have nothing to do with whether a house is listed or not.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. Huh?
You have invested, like,
Go look from that part of Daniel's lot, still gonna show you who lives there.
no, they can't get in it. Oh, this is realtors.
Yeah, no, this is through through our MLS that you're able to
And
populate
realtors
this
are
information.
dangerous.
Yeah, right.
We don't get.
Yeah, so yes, so you can search properties. You can search additional information. I remember I did look up mortgage information on a house yesterday through here. So, so yes, it's just a one-stop place to go and get all your information. So I thought someone just shared that with me recently. I thought, it was interesting to share it with you guys, so.
Is Marty
Yes, he will. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Okay, I got us back. Somehow I got us back. working with teams now, so it's a little harder. Also, I just want to remind you guys that we got the updated 2022 CMA adjustment guide from Otto. Someone shared it with us. And so we do have it in the MRC room. I sent it out to everybody. So a great guide to use when you're trying to comp a property out that maybe is a little unique or special, or there's not a lot of other comparable homes to comp it to. So just a reminder that we have that. And then again, just a swipe alert, because I know I get emails and texts all day from you guys. When you receive something that you're not sure, if you're not sure, don't open it, because there's a lot of phishing scams. There's a lot of different, yeah, everything is going around. broadly.
One day.
Yeah.
But I have to check, open up my account because they keep telling me that there's a new thing and I've got to do it over and over.
Yes,
and
I
over.
know.
This is your last chance.
Yes.
Yeah,
Every day, this is your last chance.
yeah. If it doesn't look right, then just get rid of it, everything. And now they're calling the front desk too, which is what this is about, asking, as an IT person, calling to get information. So they're going above and beyond just going for your emails, for your computer now, they're actually making phone calls. So again, just be wary of anything that sounds suspicious.
Wait,
At
who
all.
was calling?
Yeah,
the front
it
desk?
It's a phishing scam that they're calling and saying they're IT and they're asking you for information so that you give them information to allow them to get into different things. Yes. So IT will not call you at the front desk ever and ask you for information. So, so just sharing each week with you, some dialogue and some things to share with your clients as we go into a challenging market. What sellers need to know in today's housing market. We talk about what buyers need to know and how we talk to buyers, but what do we say to the sellers? So if someone's thinking about selling their house, they may have heard about the housing market slowing down in recent months. While it's still a seller's market, the peak frenzy the market saw over the past 2 years has cooled some, right? We're definitely seeing that and feeling that. So if you're asking yourself if you missed your chance to sell your house and make a move, the good news is you haven't. Motivated buyers are still out there, but you do need to price your house right for today's market. Here's why. So Lauren Chung says homes priced right are selling very quickly, but homes priced too high are deterring prospective buyers. So it's true, buyer demand has slowed over the past few months as higher mortgage rates made it more expensive to buy a home. The results are fewer bidding wars and less competition among the buyers. So I thought this was a great, again, infographic to share with your sellers specifically. So May 2022, homes got an average of 4.2 offers. In our area, probably an average of 15 offers, right? I mean, anyone who experienced it. June, an average of 3.4 offers, and July, an average of 2.8 offers. So it's gone down consistently each month. Fewer homes selling above asking price. So in May, 55 homes sold 55% over asking. In June, 51% over asking, and in July, 39% over asking. So you see the amount of over asking that sellers were getting has gone down drastically. This is not local. No, yes. It's a national numbers. These are all national numbers. But again, it's consistent to what we're seeing. Maybe the numbers don't match exactly, but it's definitely consistent to what we've been seeing in the market since the cool down started. So again, it's a great informational piece to share with your sellers who want to list their house where their neighbor got in May. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a different market now. So they have to price it appropriately. Don't forget that compared to severely overheated market we saw the past 2 years, 39% of homes sold above list price, down from 51% a month ago, 50% a year ago. While this is a slower pace than even 1 month ago, serious buyers are still actively in the market and they're buying homes that are priced right. In fact, the confidence index also notes that the average home is selling in just 14 days. If you're aiming to sell your house, be sure you're to price it for today's housing market. As buyers' demand softens, it's important to understand this isn't the same market as last year. It's not even the same market as just a few months ago, but it is still a seller's market. So signs of a broader slowdown in the housing market are evident. This is in line with our previous expectations and given the notable cooling of buyer demand due to higher mortgage rates. Nevertheless, buyers still remain interested, which is keeping the market competitive, particularly for attractive homes that are properly priced. The bottom line is, while the housing market has cooled from its overheated frenzy, it's still a seller's market. Obviously, they should work with a real estate professional to understand what's happening with buyer demand and home prices in their local area as they get ready to enter the market. So it's everything that we know, but, we talked about this for the last probably a month or so. The sellers need to look at what that home, I saw an agent who I worked with, for many years, her house closed today, so I'll go on the market as a closed sale today. She listed it for $850, she got $970. Okay, and that was she listed it like the end of May, early June, okay? So what would most likely will that neighbor want to price the home at? 970 or $1 million, right? That's what they're gonna want to price the home at. Really, they need to price it at 850, because that's the number that drove that house to 970, right? So again, it's just, having that conversation, explaining to them that this is where you need to be. I know, 850 is still, I thought 850 was a great price, but yes, yes. I know it was, it was absolutely gorgeous. It was. She did a beautiful job in the pool, had a nice backyard, separate, all the things that people are looking for today. But yes, so again, just having these conversations and setting up expectations is what we can do. We can't tell people what to do. We can only guide them and consult them and give them our expertise is all we can do. So what do you think the top 5 selling towns in New Jersey were from January to June of this year?
Montclair.
No, that's a good one.
That's a first one. Yeah. That's where this.
Now, worst.
Brielle or one of the places.
Yeah, that's.
I feel like it's not, I feel like you can't guess them because I couldn't even believe that it was these towns were ones that I actually, would have thought of as a top selling town.
Camden.
So Tom's River,
Camden.
Brick Township, Woodbridge Township, Cherry Hill, and Trenton. So very disappointing, right? Very surprising. Those are the top 5 selling towns in New Jersey from January to June. Interesting, right?
Top, what do you say, top selling towns? Out from where they sell last year?
No, it's the homes the towns that sold the most homes in numbers of units. Yes, yes. Mhm. So it tells you on here how many sold, what the price point was. So like Tom's River had 787 closed homes. So they're number 1 for the state of New Jersey from January to June. Brick was 445, Woodbridge was 444, Cherry Hill was 429, and Trenton was 425.
There a tracker for all those people that sold their homes, where they are now? They sell and say in New Jersey.
I wonder if there's some type of consensus that rules that. I don't know, but that's a great question.
It's funny that you said that, though. I did
A
have.
lot of people are in the state.
I was gonna say, I would probably guess at least half of them. I don't know if that's correct or not. But I'm sure if NAR is tracking all of this information, they're tracking where people are going. I'm gonna look into that on the NAR stats, on the NAR website and see if I can find something with that, Barbara, because I feel that they probably are tracking that 100%. 100%.
A lot of mine are, that's in my. They've left the state,
No.
so.
Yeah,
Yes, a lot of that is.
Yeah. So once,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say easily 50%. It's probably higher than that, but I would say easily 50%. I'd be comfortable saying that leave the state. So our absorption rate for the week, so I found it very interesting that the active homes on market went down in all of them, almost all the towns this week, where we're supposed to be seeing it raise in the fall. Right, we're supposed to be seeing more homes go on the market this week, but it's just a slower time, right? It's just, yeah, it's just a slower time. The end of August is always slow. So, absorption rate stays the same. But home inventory has gone down. But with that, under contracts have gone up like week over week. So more homes have gone under contract and less homes have come on the market. So office listings. Bin. No.
I have a new construction in Randolph, corner of, Center Road at Longview. 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath. Colonial, 2-car garage, car driveway. Brand new septic, 2-zone heating and cooling, unfinished basement. All redone inside. Price at $769. It's not exclusive for now, but we'll be on the market in September.
Gorgeous house, actually, Ben took me through to help them with pricing and stuff. And they did a really nice job. You know, sometimes you go into the construction and things and it's like, you know, some car stuff that they put in, they really did a great job with all the finishes and stuff like that.
It was a bedroom side.
Is it a new build or is it there as a Oh.
They kept a portion of the, foundation, yes,
Build.
yeah, yeah. Coming soon, Terry?
Okay, this is, 2-bedroom home, 1 full bath, large living room and super large dining room, so all the home as you can see. What's really great about it is there's a beautiful den off the living room, which could officially, I guess, be used as a bedroom. The windows and everything's got a lot of really nice features in it. That porch across the front is converted to a room. Air conditioning. So it's listed for 429 open house site. First showing tomorrow.
Very nice, congratulations. And then, I'm not sure if these two are even still around, but we have a 14 Homer Ave in Nutley, which is new construction being built, and Mara has a 7 Drum Hill Lane in Randolph for $729. I know she did open houses this weekend, and I believe she got offers, and I'm not sure. Anybody else have any new listings coming on the market?
If you're not listening, but we're gonna be doing a review list for 10 Franklin Place in Morristown, the one that you came to. So it was listed at 2.689, and we're gonna relist 2.3. And we're gonna do it a broker's open a week from today, so. But it's beautiful, you know, Victorian home with this amazing detail. And it has a pool, it's right in Morristown, with walking distance, to everything, 6 bedrooms. So it's one which you see, so I'll send more information to you about the broker's open.
Yeah, that'd be great. Be great. Anybody else have anything new coming on? Search of anything? Also today, Jen Pickett's having a broker's open at her new listing in Denville. 350 Franklin Ave at 1 o'clock, lunch, sandwiches, wine. More people will go, more.
What time is
The
it?
broker's will come back here. She'll say. Denville. It's 8, I believe it's 875. It looked fantastic from the video that was on Facebook. I mean, it's a ranch with a mother-daughter, if I'm allowed to say that anymore, and I hope you're allowed to say this real estate world. Huh? Yeah.
What time is it?
Only till April, then her time is up. Then she served her time.
Oh.
Yeah, she has to serve her time. She has to serve her time before she does.
That's what happens.
Then she can leave without any penalties. Yes.
Then she's back.
Anyone else have anything to add? right?
Oh,
I think so.
I listed 20 Cherokee Avenue in Rockaway Township today. It's 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. It's adorable. It's listed for 300.
300,000 in.
We were there.
That's a realist, right?
Yes,
Oh, that's nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right,
Okay.
The name is-
all right. I just got a new 300,000.
Already someone sent it to somebody else.
In 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, big money.
Oh, you didn't?
I did.
Oh, no, Nancy, oh, that's it. Yeah, Alexandra was here. She picked up Nancy's. Yes, yes.
Lovely clothes.
Or if it's old, so don't forget where I am.
Yeah.
Give it to your daughter. Say, here's some gas money. I won for you today.
Oh, yeah.